England 1, Serbia 0 for England's opening game at Euro 2024. We're here to jump into the game, get your views, get your opinions. We are sponsored by our friends at StocksFC, the colloquial term that has taken over football. I have stocks in X. I have stocks in Y. I wish I hadn't sold my stocks in Saka. I'm glad I kept my stock in Kobbie Mainoo. You can now directly invest in your favorite Premier League football players. Scan the QR code on the screen or click on our link that's pinned into our live comment section. And everyone who signs up to an account tonight on Stocks FC goes into the hat to win a signed ball from the Champions League final in 2019 by Trent Alexander-Arnold. That is the ball. It will come to you in a glass case. More on that a little bit later, but England pick up their first win. And look, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be blunt. There was the good, there was the bad, and there was the ugly. We're going to be bringing KJ in a few moments to have his say, but it was the good and the bad and the ugly when it comes to England tonight. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. The opening 30 minutes was absolutely sublime. The way we held onto the ball, our patience, our movement. I thought Bukayo Saka was dangerous. I thought Trent looked inspired. Jude Bellingham was a machine. He was everywhere. The people that have doubted Jude Bellingham, sit down, shut up, get out. What a performance from him. But from the 30 minutes onwards, Serbia changed their approach. Serbia figured us out and became more aggressive. They absolutely bullied the likes of Harry Kane out the game. They doubled up on Bukayo Saka. And the frustration for me came that it took so long for Gareth Southgate to react. We were lucky in the sense that Pickford pulled off some good saves. I thought Gahey, particularly, along with Stones, had very good defensive performances when balls did indeed come into the box. Declan Rice started the game well. Defensively was very, very good indeed. But it was hugely frustrating to see Serbia. We all knew, by the way, before the game kicked off, everybody told England fans, Serbia are a good team. This won't be a walk in the park. And that's exactly what it was. It's a very good win for England. I'm not taking anything away from it. Serbia are a good team. We are not going to rewrite history. We are not going to suddenly pretend that they're a rubbish team that nobody was rating. A hard team to play for the opening game. But I was frustrated that Gareth Southgate took so long to react. He took so long to make a change. And his first change was Gallagher. And for me, I felt the game needed Cole Palmer. I felt the game needed actually Anthony Gordon on the left, somebody that would run off the shoulder. And it needed Kobbie Mainoo earlier, someone to get hold of the ball who isn't going to play hot potato with it. And we didn't do it. And that really frustrated me. That's the ugly side. The good side, look, Saka, excellent today for large parts. Yes, he was nullified in the second half. But where I got frustrated is how are England not seeing, well, he's been doubled up upon. He's now being marked out the game because he was so potent in the first half. Let's move the ball onto the left-hand side. But it was a shocker of a night for Phil Foden. We know how good a player he is. We know how regularly he delivers for Manchester City. But he started well, but he faded and faded and faded. Harry Kane lasted the full 94 minutes. How? Why? Change something. Yes, he's the captain, but change something, Southgate. Serbia did, and you just kept it the same. You know, what's the expression? The definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and getting the same results. And as Serbia adapted, we had to do the same thing. And that's my biggest bugbear with Southgate is that we just don't have he just doesn't have the nous. He just doesn't have the whereabouts to understand that. I thought Declan Rice had an excellent game in the middle. I thought he was absolutely brilliant tonight. Trent, I tweeted at about 35 minutes into the game that Trent, I was actually quite impressed with Trent, but he did fade, and he faded quickly when Serbia became more aggressive. When Serbia were getting behind our midfield, that's when you saw his defensive frailties come to light. That is something that Southgate has got to keep his eye on. He's not a seasoned midfield player. He's doing it at an international tournament. It's not like he's played 50, 60, 70 games at club level there. I know he inverts, but it's a very, very different role to have. But I do want to speak about Jude. I want to speak about Jude Bellingham, because there are some things to be frustrated about tonight as an England fan. But the one thing you can't be frustrated about tonight is Jude Bellingham. People saying he has no technical ability. Shut up. You've been done tonight. Some of his movements, some of his touches, some of the way he rolls the ball, the drops of the shoulder, brilliant. He's a physical specimen as well. He was everywhere for England tonight. At 20 years of age, to drop that performance in an opening game of a major tournament for England is special. In my life, I want to also read this stat out. It's only the second win in the last 10 for opening games at the Euros for England. And Jude Bellingham was absolutely influential in that, along with Bukayo Saka, who, again, I couldn't believe the disrespect. I couldn't believe the ridiculousness I was hearing about Saka in the build-up to this game. England fans are obsessed with recency. This guy had a better season, in my opinion, should start for England. This guy's had a better month, should start for England. Club England is needed to a certain degree. There is an element of, Maguire might have been playing bad for Man United for a while, but never put a foot wrong for England. Pickford is a prime example. Saka fits into that mold as well. He always seems to deliver for England, and I thought he was very, very good tonight. The frustrating bit is when they doubled up, tripled up at times against him in the second half to nullify him, the manager should have made tactical changes, formation changes to counter that. Taking them off is fine. That happens in games. It's Bellingham, Bowen came on. They suddenly stopped doubling up on the right side, and we nearly scored a goal from it. That's why you have substitutions to help you in those moments. So look, there's some really good things for England tonight. I also want to shout out somebody. I want to shout out Gahey. I want to shout out Gahey tonight. What a performance from him as well. Probably wouldn't be starting if everybody was fit. But he took the ball by the horns. He grabbed it and said, I am. And I love seeing it. I love it when a professional athlete, a professional sports person grabs the ball by the horns, says I am, delivers, demonstrates their quality. Because we know he's got quality. We've seen him regularly in the Premier League deliver it. But you never quite know how it's going to translate to a major international tournament because they're a different kettle of fish. And I thought he was excellent. I thought he was excellent tonight. To a man, top performance. My top three performances of the night: Gahey, Saka, Bellingham. In that order, personally. Trent was in the running for that. He did fade very much in that second half. But of course, I put that down to the manager not making the tactical and the technical changes to address the changes made by the Serbians, who fought very, very hard indeed. But if I take my England hat off, look, it was another brilliant, another absolutely brilliant day and game at Euro 2024. The Germans are delivering. Football is delivering. It really, really is. And I am one of, really enjoying this tournament. And look, let me just say, I know I'm frustrated at certain elements. I am proud that England won. I'm happy that we won. I was so happy to see the likes of Jude and Gahey, Saka deliver. I felt like a proud dad when I saw young Kobbie Mainoo coming onto the field of play at the end of the game. And of course, there are other really good performances out there tonight. Walker is someone that needs to be shouted out as well. But there are areas for us to improve. But I will keep the same energy. Now that I dropped the fan element, I'll keep the same energy for England as I did for other teams. You maybe don't want to start off at your best. Maybe don't want to peak too early. You want to grow into the tournament. But that is going to come from the manager making the subtle changes that he needs to, not bringing Conor Gallagher on when you need to start controlling the ball. Those things we won't get away with every single week. But as ever, look, I want to gauge your views. I want to gauge your opinions. As I told you all at the top of the show, we've got a new sponsor. for all the England games at the Euros and our done deal shows, and they are called StocksFC. Now, if you don't know what StocksFC are, they are the first of their kind, the football stock trading account that you can have. And this is absolutely brilliant. I'm gonna press the login button. I am just gonna take that off the screen because it might show you my details. Now it doesn't actually. This here, Premier League football players are available as of right now. You've got the IPOs you can see, and essentially you dictate how much these players are worth. You can invest your stock in your favorite Premier League players. Trent Alexander-Arnold's IPO is launching very, very soon. And what we are giving out on the Football Terrace, for everyone that signs up to an account on here, you go into the hat to win a signed football from Trent Alexander-Arnold from the 2019 Champions League final. It comes in a brilliant glass case. It's fully authenticated. So everyone who signs up for an account tonight, and I tell you why Stocks is so amazing, okay? So when the IPO is launched, as you can see here on the screen, these are all now finished. You can't buy them. But Konate was just made available. I actually bought some in him. 100,000 stocks were available, but only 4,424 were sold. That's it now for life. Never, ever will any more stocks for him become available. And once they're bought by the users, it's the users that dictate how much they're worth, what you're willing to sell them for, or what you're willing to buy them for. And on top of that, the beautiful thing is all the stocks you own, based on their performances, scoring goals, clean sheets, winning games, you win cash money each and every single week on that portfolio. Mine's only just started, okay? I can show you mine right now. I'll put it up on the screen. I've invested some money into Adam Wharton and into Branthwaite. That's where I've started. I'm going to be on this journey with StocksFC with you. So go and get signed up tonight. And over the coming weeks, I'm going to take you through my journey, show you what I'm doing, and maybe you can make some money along the way as well. And why this is so brilliant compared to anything else that's ever been launched is, as I say, we, the users, control the stock. Nothing new will be added. The prices can't be inflated. The only thing that will do it is if the user's selling, say, I want to sell for more, or if the buyers say, I want to buy for more, and you can make some money there. So if you truly believe in your favorite players and you give it the old colloquial, I've got stocks in Jude Bellingham, we'll get them bought. And just to let you know, they've announced it today, stocks in Trent Alexander-Arnold go on sale. Their IPO launch is coming soon. So make sure you sign up to an account now and get it done. Is it long-term? Yes, it is long-term. It just simply is. Go on the website, take a look. You can upload with cash, your debit card. If you've got cryptocurrency, you can upload with that as well. That's what I did. I used my crypto wallet to upload on there. So it all really depends on you. So a little bit more on that later, but go and get signed up. And I'm going to be brutally honest about this. Even just sign up for an account if you want to go into the hat to win the Trent Alexander-Arnold signed ball. You may not be a Liverpool fan, but why wouldn't you want a ball signed by one of the best right backs in the world? It will look great on your mantelpiece, or you can sell it to a Liverpool fan. I reckon Husam would spend a lot of money on that, in my personal opinion. Someone says, no thanks, Trent was rubbish. I didn't think he was rubbish tonight. He faded. But then that's when the manager is meant to make changes. I'm bringing my panel out, people, now to have their say on the show. Make sure like buttons have been hit. Have you hit the like button, people? Get that done for us right now if you haven't done so already. Just get this past 1,000 likes. We're talking England. We're talking about whoever got backstage, whoever got here coming in. We're going to do it one by one. We've got man like Mo. Oh, no, sorry, it moved. Somebody went backstage. Man like Mo is here. Do you know what happened? Somebody dropped out the back and it moved you along. We've got Giuseppe, the Italian stallion, in the house. We've got Hamza. What we saying, bro? We've got man like Nick, who's on the steps there in New York. We've got halftime hooks. We've got man like Chris. We've got Matty in the house. I can tell Nick in New York. You can hear the siren. You can hear the sirens in New York. I bet it's him. Yeah, muted it. It's definitely him. Listen, I'm going to go to Husam first. England win. It was an interesting game. Give me your thoughts and feelings, bro.
You know, I wanted to come up here and I wanted to credit Southgate after I watched that first half. I was willing to, let go of everything I've ever said in the past. I wanted to come here and go like, you know what, Gareth Southgate? You're cooking. Mark Guehi and John Stones at the back, shit's changed. Trent, Bellingham, Rice, everyone's cooking. And then as soon as England go 1-0 up, here we go again. It's the same stuff over and over and over again. Gareth Southgate is always worried about what the other team can do to him instead of being worried about what he can do to the other team. Let me explain something. If England played offensive football today, this game ends 4-0 to England easily. Light work. This game would have ended 4-0 to England. Every time they attacked and they had the intent of attacking, they created a clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity. Literally every time they wanted to attack. But instead, he decided to surrender possession. He decided to take off his better players, and he decided to go defensive. Bowen for Saka, even though it's like for like, is a defensive substitution. Gallagher for Trent is a defensive substitution. Every single one of the substitutions he made were all defensive substitutions. And sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture. Should England fans be happy that you beat Serbia 1-0 and that you got the 3 points, you kept the clean sheet? Yes. But overall, if we're talking about performance of the team as a collective, then you should not be happy, because when you compare this performance today, if you think I'm going to take on France or Italy or Germany or Spain playing this way, then good luck, because you ain't going to beat them. The biggest problem with Gareth Southgate remains he's always worried about what the opposition can do, not what he can do to the opposition. I thought there were a lot of England players that played well today. I was actually going to give, honestly, first half, England were saucing. I thought I was going to come here and apologize to Southgate. I'm actually being honest. First half, they were cooking. Everyone was cooking, every single player. I'm not going to single out players, because I thought even Kyle Walker, even though he's a City player, I thought he had a good game. I don't think Foden had a good game, to be honest with you. That's the only one guy who I think generally didn't have a good game, no agendas. But I thought the rest of the team all were really good. But I think Southgate's substitutions, the way he operates, it just brings back flashbacks of that final in 2020 where you were absolutely destroying Italy. And then Southgate's cowardice kicked in, and it's the same stuff. The only difference is it's not Italy and it's not a final. It's against Serbia in the group stages. So get a grip. Play with your offensive players, win the game 3 or 4-0, send the message to the rest of the teams. That's honestly what I generally think about today's game.
Can I talk about one thing, Terry, please?
Yeah, go on, Mo.
Guys, there's a difference between Jude Bellingham. For everybody slagging Jude Bellingham, he's not only a false nine, player of the year in La Liga. He was everywhere defensively, in the midfield, picking up the ball, never shy of picking the ball, trying to turn. Everywhere on the pitch, attack the 18 when needed to be, got at the end of the ball when Saka crossed. This guy is a world star. It doesn't have to be aesthetically the best guy on the pitch, right? But I think he's the most effective player in this English team. Phenomenal, amazing. This is the one positive thing today I give Southgate, which is he used Bellingham exactly to how he is supposed to be used. He was everywhere on the pitch. But the others, he used Saka well, but Foden position was not great. In my opinion, Kieran Trippier didn't offer a lot at all on that left wing back. It was, you shouldn't have played that. He actually occupied spaces that Foden should have occupied sometimes. I don't think he was good. Southgate, to be honest, in the first half started well, as Husam said, but some of the players could have been used better. Can you put it on the players? I think this is the discussion that we should have. Should we put it on the players? Someone like Harry Kane, who had 2 touches. Someone like Foden, he didn't look great. Declan Rice looked a little bit isolated without passes. Trent with the back to the goal wasn't the greatest. Is it on Southgate? Is it on the players? I actually don't know.
Do you know what, Mo?
I want to know from an English point of view.
Yeah, Mo, I look at it this way. I think there's an element you can put on the players, but Kane got pocketed tonight, so make a change. Saka started brilliantly, and then they doubled up on him. Make a change. And when he makes a change, we were struggling to hold on to the ball. We have 1, maybe 2 midfielders in Mainu and Wharton on that bench that can come on and hold the ball. And he brings on Conor Gallagher, who presses, but he is not renowned for his ability to retain possession. So for me, I do think some players had poor games, but I want to credit Serbia. I want to credit Serbia for the job they did. But we left Harry Kane on for 94 minutes and he shouldn't have stayed on. Not because I'm having a go at him. Try something different. Bring somebody on whose hold-up play is elite like Tony. Bring on someone like Watkins that can go on the shoulder. And what I felt during that game, and you maybe got Anthony Gordon that could do it, I was watching it thinking, oh, God, we could do it bringing Rashford on right now. Someone that we know loves to run off the shoulder for those long balls. It was what variety was there. And we have other players that maybe can do that job, but the manager never showed them to us. So I'm not going to be angry at players for being marked out of games or Serbia making tactical adjustments and slowing us down, because that first 30 minutes demonstrated that we can cook. But it was the manager's inability to adjust and then find a new solution. That is what stood out to me as an England fan. I wasn't really annoyed at the players per se. I thought Trent started well. Then he did fade. Why was he staying on until 65, 70 minutes? He should have come off 55 minutes. Bring on Mainu, someone to hold on to the ball. Bring Anthony Gordon on for Foden, who is anonymous for large parts of the game, because he can run off the shoulder. He's got electric pace. And none of this is about digging at anyone based on their football, the club they play for. This was about how can my nation, England, perform better and lay a marker down. And I think I agree with Husam. We had a chance tonight to lay a marker down to our rivals, and we didn't do it. We've shown everybody our vulnerabilities. I'm going to go to KJ, because KJ is obviously there in Gelsenkirchen right now. What's the atmosphere like?
Well, everyone just went home. I think everyone. So Serbia fans, there's many Serbia fans there, and obviously they left because they lost. The England fans, the joy got sucked out of us in that second half. It was pitiful, really. Like we were on the top. We saw that we could go on and do more and unlock more, and it turns out that Gareth Southgate was a classic Gareth Southgate, and we parked the bus and we let pressure go on. And the Serbia fans were loud, they were rowdy, they were getting belief, they were getting hope. Every shot, every kind of attacking play, you hear them cheering on their team and going, ooh, because they missed a shot. When was the last time England created a chance in that game after the second half? I really can't remember. That's how poor we was in that second half. And this Gareth Southgate personally is holding his team back. Like, the England fans were sitting there, we were cheering, we were so happy with that first goal, and then little by little, the England fans were leaving, and we just got quiet because we had nothing to hope for, we had nothing to be excited about. And yeah, it's hard. You got players like Jude Bellingham, you got Saka, Mark Gray, Rice, all played brilliantly today, and then the rest of the team, obviously, I think they played fine, but the tactics behind the team is not helping us. And yeah, Southgate is holding his team back. And behind me is the fan park there. It was a good vibe in there. We got basically kicked out because it's time to leave. But yeah, overall, we need to see more from this team, man. We need to see more from this team.
I hear you, KJ. Look, bro, I'll let you shoot off because I know you got to get back, and it's very, very late there. Top man, and we'll speak again soon. Take care, bro.
Big up KJ, man.
KJ,
big up.
Killing it over there in listen, he was making me die today. I'll tell you a little story. No, I'll say that for another day. But he's asked me to change his Airbnb location because he was shook. He's like, bro, it's really mad round here. And then he sent me a video of it where it was, and I'm like, bro, that's just Europe. It's just Europe. It just is what it is. But that's me growing up in the East End, I suppose. Giuseppe, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, listen, I want to start by saying, like I said for Italy yesterday, the win is all that matters in the first game of the cup competition. So that's a big result, and a clean sheet for me is all that matters in the first game. But what I will say is, this identifies it for me. As sad as it is, and as mad as it is, and how we won't want to hear it, England will not win the cup with Gareth Southgate as manager. He hasn't got the balls, he hasn't got the kahunas to be the manager that wins a cup. You do not keep Phil Foden and Harry Kane on till the end of the match and think that you know enough, as a manager to win a competition. Because I'm sorry, for me, Phil Foden should have been hooked at halftime and brought Gordon on. I think Harry Kane could have been hooked at any point of the game. We're not saying these ain't good players, we know, and that's why they stay on the pitch, because they're superstars, and I feel like he might be scared to take them off the pitch. Harry Kane especially, notoriously over multiple competitions, we've seen times where he shouldn't be on the pitch and he stays on the pitch. So for that, Southgate for me isn't the guy. But there was some sensation. I thought Jude Bellingham, anyone that doubts Jude Bellingham, it's just hate because he don't play for their team. That is all it is. And they're jealous that they haven't got this guy. He is quality. He's by far England's best player, in my opinion, in the sense of, like, you've got obviously your Rices and Kane as a striker maybe. But as a superstar, man, he is the guy. I thought Saka was really good. I thought the second half, you could see he was leggy. I think they countered the tactic, and as you said, they doubled up on him, which then he got no support because I think Carl Walker as a right back, he's leggy as well towards the end of the game because listen, he's an old guy now. But I thought it wasn't the worst. I think we've got to remember Serbia are a good team. They have some great players. And I think the one positive for the players on the pitch is I do think that England showed a maturity near the end of the game to see out the game. They were, because the pressure was on them and they could have made a mistake. Something stupid could have happened and it didn't really happen. They controlled it. The one thing was there was a free kick that they took really fast that I think they should have probably just took the sting out the game a little bit and just done something better, but they rushed it but nothing come from it. So for me, England should be happy with the result, but they should be keeping an eye. We should be keeping an eye in the next game of how we perform and how not the players on the pitch as much as the manager, how he reacts. For me, Phil Foden doesn't start next game. If this manager has any bollocks, Gordon starts next game. Hamza might not want to hear it because Foden's his guy. I rate Foden. If you got to start Foden, you have to start him in the cam. You can't start him on the left. He can't play on the left. Definitely.
Giuseppe, I'll bet you anything you want right now will be the same exact starting 11. Anything you want.
I believe it will be. I believe
I hear you completely. Hamza, a lot of people in the audience, Hamza, are saying, let's talk about Phil Foden. He didn't have a great game tonight. Was it because he played out of position on that left-hand side, Hamza?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of elements that was going on. First, I think this team, no one knew what the starting lineup was going to be. So it's the first time they've probably played like that together in a big tournament. So you've just taken 11 there, a right back from a different football club, put him in midfield, taking a guy who plays as a number 10 from another football club, that's player of the year. Yeah, that's voted player of the year by unanimously by writers and players who believe he's the best player in England at the moment. And he's played, not only he plays at left wing, he's now being told, yo, play the right wing. But I'll tell you what, one thing. I think England have to be very careful. Very careful. Yeah? Giuseppe, you can't play Gordon. You must be joking. You must be joking. The fact that you said that's laughable. To play a guy like, hey, are you joking?
Not.
Bro, there's level to this game. I've seen football being played for a long time. You need elite players. He was let down. If you're not biased today, he was let down because let me tell you one thing. And I'll criticize a player that you guys are praising. I know you're laughing. It's a fact. And I'm going to bring it up. Bellingham was a great player. But he wouldn't do that at Madrid. You know what he was doing today?
Christ.
I'll tell you an example. Foden will pass it to him. And I've seen Xavi, Iniesta, 1-2-1. Xavi, Iniesta, Alonso. You play. Football is a team sport. Have you played football, guys? Have you seen a guy that takes the ball and says, give me the ball, let me run on it? Do you not get angry? Do you not say,
that's what your man did, though?
To play football, I pass. Bellingham was not passing to him.
Hang on a minute, Hamza.
Hamza, are you seriously criticizing Jude Bellingham's performance tonight?
Passing to him several times, 100%.
Are you okay?
Mark my words, England, be very careful. Football is a team sport. Remember, I said
you said Jude was man of the match on your
WhatsApp. Men. It's not about star players. Each player have to know.
He literally said that.
You literally just said, hold on, Hamza, you said it's not about star players, and then you said Gordon can't play because he's not a star player.
Listen,
what you literally said.
The guy passed to Bellingham multiple occasions, asking for 1-2.
Hamza, who was the man of the match today?
Drive. And you think, where are you driving to? Bro, pass it. And you criticize Kane. Kane never had service. Kane never had service today. You're blaming a player who never had service today. What a shame.
He never had service. Hello, the Bowen cross.
See,
hello?
I'm being non-biased today. England players were great, everyone, but we need to make sure football.
Not everyone.
Hamza, I'm going to say this now. Jude Bellingham was not greedy. Jude Bellingham was absolutely everywhere. He covered every blade of grass. I agree with you. There wasn't a great deal of service that came into Harry Kane today. But it was also because Harry Kane was being nullified out of the game. Serbia need credit for that. The substitution should have been made earlier because we should have tried something different. The same with, listen, I'm a massive fan of Phil Foden. You know that when it comes to the debate around where he ranks against the quote-unquote Sakas, Palmers, etc. in the Prem, you know he comes out number one for me. So there's no bias in that. He didn't have a good game, though. And what will happen versus what should happen will be different because Southgate's a bottle job. But we should be, at tournament football, you have to reward performances. You have to give people positions in the team based on meritocracy. You actually go back and watch Argentina at the last World Cup. A number of players that didn't start the first game worked their way into the first team and they went on to win the World Cup because the first performance wasn't good enough. And listen, to blame Phil Foden's poor performance on Jude Bellingham in your eyes saying not passing it to him, that for me is shameful. That is shameful.
But go and watch it, Terry. I'm telling you now.
I watched the game already.
Yeah, but did you not see every time he was being passed the ball? Bellingham would ignore him, I swear to God. And you know what? He'll never do that at Cruz.
Stop swearing.
Never would he do that at Real Madrid. Because you do that to Modric and Cruz, you're sitting bench. You're sitting bench. Because he knows Southgate will not tell him off. But second half, I started noticing he was passing the ball. Bellingham is an incredible player, but we have to learn to pass to each other because we've got elite footballers. People are coming out like, oh, Foden, drop Foden. Do you think France wanted to drop Yori Jokaev and Zidane and all that? When you got elite play, you play them together. You just don't.
Foden's not Zidane.
I've never seen a football club that say, play Anthony Gordon for Foden. You drop Foden, a player of the year. For Anthony Gordon.
But I can give you an example of where that works. None of us would look at Olivier Giroud as an out-and-out world-class club-level football player. But yet, he led the line for France to a World Cup and was arguably, if not their best, in their top 2 or 3 players that tournament. And you wouldn't look at Olivier Giroud and go, here's an out-and-out world-class player. Closer for Germany. At club level, nobody spoke about him as being an out-and-out world-class football player. But for Germany, he delivered. Now, I'm not saying Gordon will do that, but this notion that we should pick the best players based on how they're rated in the Premier League is crazy. And I'll give you an example. That's what England did with the golden generation. We consistently pick the quote unquote best players and not the best team. And that is where England have gone wrong my entire life. We try to pick the best players and squeeze them in. If the manager thinks that Bellingham is better than Foden in the 10 and Foden's dropping these performances on the left, put somebody on the left who delivers and plays there on a regular basis. We have got to not fail at this tournament for squeezing square pegs into round holes. And if Bellingham doesn't deliver and Foden's sitting on the bench, then you criticize the manager for making that decision. But we can't keep sticking players. Foden is suffering the same way that Paul Scholes did. He's moving one of his best technical players out of his position. Either drop him or play him where he's meant to be. England can't keep behaving like this because it will cost us in the end, Hamza. Brandan, what you saying, bro?
Couldn't agree more, Tel. Couldn't agree more. Hamza can get on this bloody Phil Foden defence league and all that because he's a Man City fan. But the reality is he shouldn't have stayed on the pitch for 94 minutes. I don't know how he see the pitch for 94 minutes, in all honesty. I think we'll all sit here and credit Gareth Southgate for actually taking players to the Euros that deserve to go to the Euros rather than just picking his favourites, you know, the Rashfords, the Grealishes, all these players. But you've also got to take that into in-game management as well. You know, Phil Foden shouldn't have remained on the pitch, and that's just it. If you're going to play Phil Foden, you play him centrally or you don't play him at all. We all know that. We all know that his best position is central. We all know that he's lost out on that left-hand side. And for as much as Hamza can say, oh, yeah, but Jude Bellingham ignored him, blah, 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 blah. It's a load of rubbish, mate, yeah? We offered nothing going down that left-hand side all game. All game. And it's not Phil Foden's fault. You know, Phil Foden is a lot better player than what we saw from him tonight. It's Gareth Southgate, you know, and not just that as well, right? The biggest problem with Southgate is controlling games. You know, we're 1-0 up. Yes, we could be playing better. There was a handful of players that really didn't have a good game at all today. Foden was one of them. Harry Kane was another. I don't think Trent was particularly great in midfield. I thought Guy, he actually played really, really well. I thought he was very, very good. But yeah, there was players there that didn't play particularly great. But then when you have to control the game, we was very, I don't know, we just give the ball away really easily. We invited the pressure. And that's what I didn't like. You know, if you're going to go on, you're going to win the game, keep a clean sheet, and which we did in the end. But like Husam said earlier on, this is Serbia. This isn't France. This isn't Spain. This isn't all them top teams. This is just Serbia. And we can't expect to be, giving the ball away in the manner that we was and not conceding goals and conceding chances. We got away with it a little bit tonight because it is just Serbia. So I look at that. I look at Gareth Southgate's in-game management more than anything else, more than the starting lineup that he picked, more than, the players that were on the pitch, because I think we got enough quality there to really hurt teams when it goes right for England. But it's about when, we have to take control of the game when we're under pressure. That's where I look at it and think, Southgate's just not the man. He really isn't.
Listen, I think you spoke some sense there. We're going to go to the super chat soon, people. We're going to hear from more of the panel. Make sure you stay with us. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribing. Remember, go and get signed up to StocksFC. We're going to be talking a lot about them over the next month. You're going to learn about them. They're an amazing, absolutely amazing organization. They really, really are, where you can genuinely buy the stocks in the players that you rate the most in the Premier League. Not every EPL player has been released yet. They do IPOs each and every single week, and it's amazing. And based on their performances, you win rewards. If you go and sign up now, you will go into the draw to win, and this is amazing, a genuine, with authentication, signed Trent Alexander-Arnold ball from the 2019 Champions League final. Comes in a nice glass case. That's the actual picture of it. So at the end of the show, you can either scan the QR code now, click on the link, go and sign up to an account, and over the coming weeks, we'll take you through all the brilliant things that StocksFC do. But it is, as I say, if you really do want to put your money where your mouth is when it comes to the best players, this is going to be the best place. And we're going to be using it loads on the football terrace in the coming days, weeks, and months. As I say, they pay dividends when they do well. We'll get that done. Nick, obviously watching all the way over in Brooklyn, sitting there on the steps outside in New York. What did you make of it? As an outsider looking in, what did you make of it tonight?
I'm sitting in the sun right now getting blasted. Stoop with a bunch of England fans hanging out here. But to me, as much as we can't look at Germany's performance and Spain's performance and go like, oh, but I have a little bit of a slowdown on overreacting to this performance as well. This is a ton of top level performers that a manager is trying to work out their positions, and they looked lost. A lot of times when I'm going like, why is Bellingham way over there? Why is Foden back playing defense right now? Why is he here? The passes were not connecting. And as much as we want to say Spain was brilliant and Germany was brilliant, and then we want to go, this was a terrible performance from England, they should have put 4 or 5 up. I look at it as it was disjointed, but you got all the pieces there for a very, very good run, and you walking away with 3 points. After I said England will not win a single game 1-0, the first thing they do is win 1-0. So I've already been called out for that. But I think let's not overreact the way we're saying don't overreact to Spain and Germany. Let's not overreact to this. Everybody's treating it like a loss because some people had bad performances, and that's the British news media take of everything is always looking at the negative and negative and negative, and Kane should have come off. Saka, why did Saka come off, and why did Foden stay on? I think, look, it was very disjointed, but it's the first match, and you got the 3 points. So I would be a little bit more concerned about England, knowing that this was a poor performance, and you still got the 3 points against Mitrovic and Vlahovic. Some good attacking, some good performances by Serbia. Just saying, pump the brakes, y'all. Chill.
I get where you're coming from there. Cam, again, the same. Obviously, you're not English. I don't know who you're supporting at the Euros. Maybe England because you support Man United. But do you see it similarly to Nick? Do you think maybe the English amongst us are being a little bit harsh on this opening game?
Typically, this is the case. I say it I say it before every tournament. I say it during. Maybe in the group chat and dudes are just arguing amongst themselves. I'm like, yo, just enjoy the game, guys. It's the folly of the England fan, right? It's kind of what you guys deal with, and I get it. Like, I mean, I'm actually happy that like it seems everybody on this panel is actually on the right place when it comes to Foden, except for Hamza. If you told me bet $1 million would Hamza somehow defend Foden, I would have been like, yeah, I would, because that's crazy. I'm sorry, like. That you're killing, like,
you'd get very low odds on that, by the way.
Like, yeah, very, but whatever. That's why we bet $1 million, right? But the thing is, that's not just him. I see it on Twitter. People like, you've got to put that away and just the best for what the team needs. I will say I was impressed with a few things Southgate did, which was figure out how to get all his best players on the pitch. He did, like, you know, getting Trent in there over a lot of people are like, oh, Manu should be playing. I'm like, I get what he's doing. He wants to get his best players on the pitch. Let's see how I can do it. This is probably the best game to do that in. At the start, it looked okay. Like Trent was tracking back. Jude, both of them were helping on the flanks. There were things that were really working. It's what everybody said after the fact. The second half, when it's like that Southgate syndrome comes in where you're like, shit, he's just reverting to type, which I can and can't blame him because, like you said something earlier, Husam, you can't do that against most teams. I mean, you can, I think, against Italy. That's the one team I think you could have got away with it. But everyone else, Portugal, Spain, like all those teams at Denmark, even after watching how they were on the front foot today, you won't get away with that. So he's got to figure out in his mind, okay, if I can't get Foden to work, like, sure, I get it. Put him out there. I do agree with Hamza on that. Figure out how to get your elite players in the team. But if it's not working, you have to switch it out real quick. Like, is anybody sitting here thinking that Anthony Gordon wouldn't start on the left wing for how many of these teams right now, right? Like, let's not pretend he's not still a very good footballer. And that's his natural position. So put him in his natural position and see what happens. He's
our only left winger. I
exactly,
swear.
right? And then if you hit a point where, I mean, my dumbass had a bunch of corner bets in, and I understand why I probably shouldn't have done that. There's no width. That's not what England's playing with. Like, the only player that got them any width really is Saka. And truthfully, that's how you get corners. You go out wide, you drive the byline, and you hope for something to happen on a cross or whatnot. But nobody was doing that. You had Jude do it a couple times. Saka, by the way, was unbelievable today. I don't care what anybody says. There was some take-ons there that it's like watching a basketball player like Allen Iverson with a crossover. He was dropping guys left, right, and center. Every time he touched the ball, he sent whoever, it was Pavlovic basically in front of him. He was just like gone out of the picture. So I think you want to see some more of that on the other side. Every single, just as you said, I think they didn't attack on one side once, maybe once we saw some, like Trippier's not going to drive down the left-hand side. So it's not like you have a Shaw or another fullback to make up for the deficiencies. So they really need to figure out how to balance that attack. I think what he did with Jude was just watching Jude today. I've always been like, I don't watch enough of him with Real Madrid, but when I do watch him, I've always been like, what is his best? Cool, just put him out there and let him play football. That's kind of what it looked like today, and he was fun to watch. I really enjoyed it. So for me, I think the positives for England is the quality on the pitch is just way better than most of these teams. Let's be honest. Like, Kane barely touching the ball, and they still looked comfortable. At no point, I get a lot of people saying they let a bit too much up, but I wasn't really worried for England at any point. Other than that, there was one shot that I was like, ooh, that was close. But other than that, they look comfortable. And I think that's what Southgate does. He literally goes out to be like, we're good, we're safe, let's protect the lead. He's just got to figure it out moving forward. But this is perfect for you. There was no banana peel here. Everybody thought the banana, like, let's be honest, you're watching that game going into the 70th minute, 1-0. I know all the England fans were sitting there going, it's going to happen, but it didn't. So now you got the 3 points, and
that's very true. And Joe, I will say is this, because 4 of the 6 teams that come third go through to the next round. They anticipate that 3 points is probably going to be enough to get you through to the next round. So England have almost, with that opening day win, put themselves through to the next round, unless they absolutely get battered in their next. And I can't see us not picking up at least 1 point in the next 2 games. So we've kind of guaranteed ourselves through in that way. I'm going to go to some super chats before we come to more of the panel here. Jerome says, England have not won nothing in years, and yet those players looked to have so much pressure on them. It feels like they are the defending champions. Just play your football. That second half was shocking. Do you know what? I think pressure plays a part in it, Jerome. But I think I stand by what I've said already. I think the manager should have made changes to the system to help the players. And it's hard when you're on the pitch sometimes to notice issues. The managers have got a much better view. That's what they're doing. They should be making those adjustments. Because I didn't think we looked pressured in the first 30 minutes. I thought we looked majestic. What game were you watching? We were terrible. Not in the first 30 minutes, we weren't. Any sub error was not taking off that bum Foden. Hope he's dropped the next game. Guy is offering close to nothing. Bellingham is another level. Listen, I think that he should have come off Foden. I also don't believe we should have brought on Conor Gallagher for Trent. I mean, it's just crazy. We wanted control. And listen, there's times where Conor Gallagher is going to be needed, but it isn't when you need to control the ball. It's just crazy. Foden and Kane poor, gave the ball away too much. Kane was slow and fell down every touch. Needed to spread the ball more. They need a solid defense.
To back Kane, Milinkovic was
amazing.
Was unreal.
Yeah, I do think that England defense today. I thought that Stones and Gahey and Walker, great. Everybody. Trippier defensively was good. Just going forward. The problem is when you've got a right-footed left back who can't use his left foot, you just lose something. And I hope Shaw's the only one we've got, and I hope he gets fit soon. Foden stinks. Trent in midfield, they say, is crap. What did you make, Husam, of Trent in midfield today?
I have no idea what game you guys were watching. I mean, he did what he was supposed to do, which is create chances. I mean, the more dangerous chances the game was created by him. Even the shots he took from far, always taking risks. And I think this is the problem. Like, because of the way Trent plays at Liverpool and the managerial structure that he's used to, being the creative outlet. And I thought he had that today. Even him and Saka, I thought really linked up really well down that right-hand side. Even though he wasn't really the out-and-out right back, if you would like, they still linked up really well down that side. Like when it comes to like attacking, you play, and he always found Saka, and Saka always found him. It was beautiful to watch, and I thought he fit in his position really well. I think it's literally just the style that let the players down. I don't think the players let the style.
So what game did you watch?
You literally just said Foden had a good game.
Really? What game did you watch? What are we serious when Trent kept giving
you literally tried to claim Foden had a good game?
Yeah, that's just one moment though.
Please.
That's just one moment, right? Trent had one bad moment.
Hamza, you can't say that.
Hamza, you had one bad moment.
Trent had one bad moment where he lost the ball in a dangerous area.
How many times he lost the ball?
Even if you were to watch the highlights, every single time the lines were being broken and the ball's being given to Saka to create something, it was Trent creating that. It's just, this is probably like his third game playing in that position. I think he did very well for his third game. Obviously, we don't have a good person that holds the ball and retains it, but I think Trent did very well. I think Gareth Southgate just lacked tactical awareness. He's more or less a therapist than a manager, because he don't know when to make the right decisions. Manu should have come on, and he should have actually taken Kyle Walker off and put Trent back in right back. Saka and Trent, they got something going on, got something cooking. And Foden was bad, but it's based on Southgate. Like in the first 30 minutes, you're seeing Foden go into the spaces that Bellingham wants to go into, then Bellingham sucking up on the right-hand side. And it's because of the fact that Foden doesn't want to play on the wing. Even Trent, like Trippier, had to be the one holding that width. Like really and truly, Foden was bad, but it's not 100% on him. Like I said, Gareth Southgate is more or less like your school counselor, therapist. He's just there to big up the egos and that. He's not really a manager.
By the way, Hamza,
I actually have to go. So I just want to say Happy Father's Day to everyone today, man. Big yourselves up. Much love to the terrace. Peace.
Cheers, my man.
Happy Father's Day.
Can I say something to Hamza?
Can I just ask one? Can I ask one question, please? Because Hamza asked, "What game am I watching?" I would like to just ask the panel a question. I'm gonna just say your name. Just tell me who you think was the worst England player on the pitch today. Halftime, who was the worst English player on the pitch?
Foden.
Kane.
Cam.
Foden.
Nick.
Foden.
Matt.
I'll probably go Kane.
Mo.
Foden.
Giuseppe.
Between them two.
Foden.
Terry.
Kane. I'll go Kane.
Okay, so we've got 6 votes for Foden, 2 votes for Kane. One guy on the whole panel thinks that he had a good game today, and he's telling me what game did I watch.
if you're asking me top two, Foden's in it. Do you know what I mean? Like you're saying top two, he's there. Like it's one of them ones. Another super chat here says simple solution to better this team: Trent to right back, Foden in mid, Gordon on the left wing. Become more offensive and put everyone in their best positions. I mean, that's an idea, but I did think Kyle Walker was excellent today, though.
What do you do with Walker there?
It's horses for courses. I think when we play Denmark, I'll go with Walker. But I think maybe when we play Slovenia, I think we do it the other way around. And maybe you put Trent into that position. Foden needs to get out of City's mould, waiting for the right movement and passes that he just won't receive at England. He needs to demand the ball. It's a fair point. Rooney suffered with that for England. All these great players, yet the tactics was to pass to Saka and watch. It's like players and the managers see him as one of the most effective players, but I should believe these clowns with agendas and biases who don't know football. Hooks, obviously you're an Arsenal fan, and it must have been nice for you tonight to see Saka step up and kind of silence, because there's a lot of people in the build-up to this tournament saying drop him for whoever really, but he delivered again tonight for England.
Yeah, because it's just what he does, man. I've had to hear all season about this Palmer brother. Didn't even make it onto the pitch. I've heard about this Foden guy. We all saw what he did today. Not much. But you know what? Yeah, it just is what it is, right? Like the first half, we was cooking. You know, I was sitting there thinking, "Raw, Southgate, you're actually gonna do something this tournament." Okay. But then the second half, man, I'm never getting those 45 minutes back in my life ever again. Like they're gone. Like it was so hard to watch. Like so hard to watch. I've actually nearly fell asleep. I was on the panel listening to you guys. I'm nearly falling asleep because that just took it out of me, to be completely honest. But you know, there was a few good performances. I was really impressed with Guehi. I think he played solid at the back, solid performance. Kane. You know what? Yeah, the thing about Kane, yeah, not only was he locked out the game, I feel like Kane, when he plays for England, he's always trying to bring other people in. So I never really expected him to do crazy stuff in this game. Like I see the role that he takes on is like funny enough, the father of the team. And it's like, don't worry, guys. I'll bring you guys in. Foden, you want to do something? Unfortunately, not today. He didn't do nothing. Saka, you want to do something? That's fine. You know, Bellingham, you know, all the young bucks around him. He's just looking after them. So I didn't really think that he would do much in this game anyway. Bellingham took the piss. Well, I was going to say the whole game, but I do think that everybody fell off in the second half. But for the majority of the game, he was just taking the piss. And you can clearly see he's taken a lot of that Real Madrid arrogance into the England team. And there was that moment where he barged into that Serbian guy. And I was like, yeah, man, this is what I want to see, the proper English spirit. So, yeah, overall, I wanted more goals. I spent like the whole of yesterday and part of today slewing Giuseppe about Italy only beating Albania 2-1, and then England go and only score 1 goal. But you know what? And I'll be fair to Foden. Yeah, I'll be fair to Foden. He had to play on the left with nobody on the left that was a natural left-sided player. So not only does he not play on the left, neither does Trippier. So it was hard for him, right? And I think the simple solution is just play Bellingham in the 8 and Foden in the 10.
Exactly.
And then problem is solved. And then you can play either Gordon or Eze on the left. And then you've got dynamism on the left, and then England just offer something different. Trent, good 45 minutes, faded away in the latter part of the game. But from what I did see from him, I'd be happy for him to play in the midfield again for England. So yeah, overall, take the 3 points and bring on the next game.
Absolutely. Matt, what did you make of tonight?
You know, look, I'll start on Phil Foden. You know, like I do feel with Foden that
he's hurt a lot of people.
Shaw comes back into the team and he starts his overlapping runs. I do think Foden might come into his own a little bit. Because I think the fact that he's got Trippier behind him, he's just not that guy that overlaps runs, etc. I thought Kane today was poor. He just didn't really get involved with the game. And usually, I mean, we saw at Tottenham, you know, last year that he dropped deep quite a lot. He didn't really do that. Like, he didn't really get involved. Saka, Very good, very good. What I'd like to see more of Saka is to do what he does with England at Arsenal, because he doesn't do that enough. He doesn't take on his men enough at Arsenal. Trent in midfield, I was actually quite happy with that. Like I could see the link-up play that he was having with Saka, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. Guehi, though, I was very impressed with him because I think it was his first major tournament start for England, I believe, and he did very well. So majority of the first half, I was very happy with. I thought Southgate turned into a different manager, and then the second half comes, and Jesus Christ, he turns back into what looked like a replica of the Euro final, where we score and then we just sit back and then
a leopard doesn't change his spots, Matt. A leopard doesn't change his spots. Just ask Ryan Giggs' wife. Do you know what I mean? A leopard does not change his spots. Do you know what I'm saying? It's big up Giggsy, Geezer. We have a super chat here that says Hamza has a point for a change. As much as we want players to want the ball, I did notice too that Jude was a bit greedy and clearly wanted the limelight for himself. Nevertheless, best player by far still.
Terry, can I just?
And he will not do that.
Just debunk.
He will not do that with Mbappe next year.
Because Hamza,
you have to pass the ball.
You said that other people did they watch the game, and to JJ Ash as well. If you go and look, who made the most final third passes in the game? Jude Bellingham, 24 final third passes. I cannot hear that he was greedy when he wasn't. These are made up lies.
It was a great
made up lies because he was on the ball the most and he was doing the most and trying to do the most for the team.
Yeah, but it's not football's a team sport. You need to learn.
Yeah. He was passing though, bro. He made the most.
Hamza, let me just ask a question to you, Hamza. We all agree it's a team sport. Giuseppe has just given us a fact that he made more final third passes to his teammate than any other player on the pitch. How does that equate to greediness?
I'll tell you why. He'll get the ball. Foden is such an innocent player. So not self-oriented. He's this guy. He knows he's played with great players for a long time. He'll pass it to him and he'll make a movement. And this guy will just go on a run that side. And you think, why are you running that? My guy's made a good run. Use some brains. This is why I saw it in Euro 2004 with Owen Hargreaves. And it cost England. Because he kept doing the same thing with Owen Hargreaves. I dare him do that in a big game. Because if England comes out, I'm watching it back. You guys are being, look at such an amazing run he's made. Bro, have you not seen Spain? Have you not seen Germany? When Schweinsteiger and Kroos were passing to each other. And Khedira, how they look so smooth. There you are, Khedira. There you are, Kroos. There you are back. And they absolutely annihilated Brazil. But then you guys are saying, what a run. We've never seen an English player run so well towards the box. To you, you're so deluded. And you're picking up on Foden. Look what I'm telling you next time. Next game, watch Bellingham when they pass to Foden.
Hamza, did Foden have a bad game, yes or no?
Yeah, because he didn't get the chance. He didn't get the opportunity.
Because why is it always got to be a because? He had a bad game. If he's as good as you say, you class him as one of the best players in the world. Yeah, I don't care. Everyone's trying to make excuses for Foden. The left back, it's also on him that he was that crap in the game. Like he was non-existent to the point where you would forget he was playing.
Foden was very poor, but
I'm gonna say this.
Massively.
I'm gonna say this now. England haven't been the best team at the tournament so far, but Jude Bellingham put in the best individual performance. Yeah. In my this idea that Bellingham made Foden or anybody else on the pitch.
I don't know. Musiala had a really good game. Musiala had a real good game.
Musiala is my biggest challenge.
No, I'm going with Jude. I'm going with Jude because Musiala played. Musiala was amazing, by the way. But he played in a team that was clicking and looking amazing. Jude was everywhere today. He was making,
and they were playing.
And I know it's his job, but he was clearing balls. He was back defending. He was scoring.
That's what we haven't talked about enough. Is there was so many times. There's one play, and it was just a little tap where Jude just tracked back, little tap back, just diffused an attack, and he was. I think that's the part we're not talking about. When we're talking about passing the ball to Foden, what about everything else he did on the pitch? Right, like he was incredible in the defensive third too. So.
Absolutely complete performance from a midfield player, and it absolutely sublime. But by the way, Yamal was absolutely amazing. Musiala has been amazing. I'm not pulling them down, but Bellingham for me impressed me the most. But David, Alvina Sane, how are you?
I'm good. I mean, that means goodbye, but it's okay.
I know. See, you haven't ever watched Only Fools and Horses. It's an English joke.
I was born in the 21st century, so I have not watched it.
Hey, listen, so was I, and I still love it.
I'm with you, bro.
It's a good show, you know.
David, when we drive to Germany in just over a week, I'm controlling the playlist because I've got to drive. So you're listening to my music, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'll nap. I can nap. That's great.
Yeah, David's got jokes.
If you or Tom try to sleep while I'm driving for 7 hours, you guys I'm going to be slamming them brakes on, bro. Watch. I'm going to be doing you guys dirty like that. But anyway, what did you make of the game tonight, bro?
I only got to watch the second half because I had my own match. So I missed the first bit. I saw Jude's goal. I've seen the script already. Because do you know what this script is? This is the last World Cup. This was the last Euros. Until I see a change, I'm not going to expect anything less. So when we play against Serbia, yeah, we can win 1-0. When we play against Slovenia, cool, we can win 2-1. That's fine. When that kit that we're playing against has got 5 stars and it's got the Germany badge, or it's got Belgium, or it's got France, and I see Chouameni and Mbappe, I'm worried because even if we go 1-0 up, we're playing 7 at the back. It's done. We're done for. We're done for. I have no hope. My hope is gone. It's dashed. I get you don't have to play your best football straight away, but I've seen this before, and it's not going to get better. And I'm going to get told a win's a win. I've got to be happy. No, because all of us here who support big teams, we know what it takes to win. When you see your team in a cup competition, and you're going, do you know what? I've got a feeling we might win this. Even if you don't play well, you're still like, we might win this. I ain't got that spark yet. I'm seeing Netherlands. They won 2-1 today. But still, when they're creating chances, I see Germany. I see who else do I see? Who else is playing? I see Italy. Italy went 1-0 down. Did their heads drop? No, they just carried on. If we had gone 1-0 down today, worried. I'm worried. I'm worried. For me, I've got to see more because today's performance was poor. Dude had a great game.
David, real quick, because I gotta help you out here because I think I know why your voice is gone. You were playing NFL football today, right?
Yeah.
So he plays safety, meaning he's the
No. I play defensive and outside linebacker now.
Oh, so either way, you're calling out plays all day.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
Game. So he's screaming all game, guys. That's why his voice is gone.
Whatever, but
because everybody's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "I know what's going on with this voice."
Long day.
Can I just speak to the Jude Bellingham thing real quick?
Yeah, of course, mate.
It's hard to separate the Jude Bellingham having a very good game and playing very well versus the Jude Bellingham was what did somebody say? He was full of himself or he was too selfish or something like that. My worry with Jude Bellingham is that he is so good and he's the definite article for sure. But I'm afraid that he's drinking his own Kool-Aid. Do you guys have that phrase in England? Drinking your own Kool-Aid? Yeah.
Well, we don't need no. Matt, what do you mean we have that phrase in England? We don't have Kool-Aid here. We don't have it though. That's an American. We would say believe in your own hype. Is what we would probably say.
So he's already he's already drinking his own Kool-Aid. He's already believing in his own hype a bit too much. Like when you saw him body that guy today during the match,
I love
for
it.
no reason.
Nick, I don't know when you use it, but I don't know when you use it in the States. But in England, the only time you can say he believes his own hype is when somebody isn't quite delivering what the hype is mentioning. This guy has just won the Liga and the Champions League and bossed it. So I think for me, I like seeing what I saw from Bellingham today. If and when he's delivering. What I don't want to see is somebody having that swagger on the pitch and dropping a Phil Foden performance, because then it's like, have some shame, bruv. Like Henry, when he played in England, some of the ways that man celebrated, Eric Cantona, some of the ways they moved, that they believe their own hype, but they were right to because they delivered against it so regularly. So that's typical. The typical English view is it's fine to do it when you are the guy. If you're not the guy, please stop.
I think he's
I'm just saying he's very young to be, drinking his own Kool-Aid, buying his own hype a little too much, where he's already playing with the arrogance of a, let's say, 28-year-old who's done it all. And yes, he's already done it all and he's proven himself. I get it. But I'm just saying, pump the brakes.
Ronaldo had that arrogance.
He's not doing the Memphis Depay.
He's got to have that sort of swag.
Ronaldo had that arrogance at 20 years old. Best of the best do.
Okay.
Man like Memphis today. Like, I ain't got a problem with the sweatband, but I thought he had a head cut first, and then I saw it a sweatband, and I was like, oh,
with an embroidered number 10 on it.
Who's the basketball player that wears the headbands? Famous one.
LeBron.
I swear, there's one I was thinking of, and I was like,
Allen Iverson. Yeah, Allen Iverson.
That's the one. That's the one. But yeah, I just listen. I don't care what people wear, but when you know, if you do something that makes you stand out, your performance has got to stand out. Like, that's my general view on it. Like, I like the sort of confidence and the swagger and the sort of the mold of certain people. You know, Henry's and Cantona. Cantona used to flick his collar up. Now, to do that it was in the 90s. It was like, you've got to deliver now, Cantona. You can't be doing that and not delivering. And people did. I'm going to go to the rest of these super chats here. This one says, Foden looked surprised each time he received the ball. Saka was the main threat up front. Luckily, Bellingham and Rice were class. Thank you, bro. That's a great super chat. I wish Saka was afforded at least half of all the excuses Foden and Kane get after dropping stinkers. Must be such a nice privilege to have. Mo, I grew up watching Rivaldo, Zidane, and Kaka. Jude is good, but he's not a world-class number 10 in my opinion. Good game though, Jude.
He was good. Like he's not trying to be Ronaldo. That's what's great about Jude. He's not trying to be Ronaldinho or Rivaldo. He's just playing the game as it is. Like, I didn't see him trying to do flicks and tricks today. He was just being effective.
No City player performed for their countries like the City. Best one is Rodri, and even he gets subbed. By the way,
He
does
got a
Jude
yellow card.
have a skin condition?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, well, I saw some like he
Thing
spat
on
around
his
his
nose
face maybe,
from the
but
right here.
I thought that
it
was
looked
just
like a rash.
yeah. I mean, be honest with you, as long as it isn't something that's going to make him ill, I'm a man. I don't care. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. Like, my mum messaged me today. Says, "Oh, I saw Ollie Murs. He's a big singer in England. If you don't know, oh, his skin looked really bad, doesn't it? Go and have a look." I'm like, I don't care about how good or bad his skin looks. Like, that's just not my life. I don't care. First half, Bellingham and Foden were rotating a lot, so he could do something in the middle, but he couldn't deliver. He was getting brushed throughout, not physical enough for international footy. It's a good point. Imagine if Benny Blanco was in the team to work with Saka, another mismanagement from England. Well,
wouldn't have made the beach.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Yeah. Do you guys believe this is going to be the end?
Kyle Walker wasn't bad today.
Yeah, no, Walker was good. Do you guys believe this is going to end up being like 2018 and the COVID Euros, where you guys struggle and look good against the lesser opponents? Then when a real team comes in, you fall. I mean, look, there's a slight overstatement when it comes to that. Like the last Euros, Denmark were amazing at that tournament. We beat them. We did knock out Germany in that tournament as well. So we still be a big team. We can't act like we didn't play nobody at that
final. That's crazy. That's the craziest thing. You had to be somebody.
Yeah. It's easy to play when teams give you time and space. As soon as England got pressed, they started making mistakes. It's a good point. But that's why the manager then needs to make changes. England have no patterns of play, none, little movement, no 1-2s, no overlaps. The odd, I mean, the goal, I mean, to say we have none, I think is an understatement. The goal was literally wonderful football, and there was other opportunities we created where the football was good. So I don't think it goes accidental football. I don't think it was accidental. I think that's a little bit exaggerated. The fact and reality of Foden is he's world-class at City, not for England. Jude, he's world-class for club and country. I don't buy this world-class crap. They're all world-class until they put an England shirt on. Everyone falls for it. Thank you, Nav. Please, Football Terrace, when City get relegated, I need to see Hamza waffle his way out of it. Lol, funny guy. I hope someday I find myself in love. Like Hamza loves Foden. It's delusional as F, but I believe him. You need that arrogance to succeed at Madrid, and then the goals come. The balls Jude had to jump for that header. Do you know what? It's true that unless you've played football, that goal, you risk being you risk having your jaw broke, your cheekbone broke in challenges like that. This isn't like sports where pads are being worn. You can give it, when you've got pads on, you can give it the big and, I'd like smashing into people. But in a sport where if you get clattered, it's bone on bone, proper men. Bone on bone, proper men. That's a bit weird. Anyway, we move. Yeah. No Diddy. Hit the like button, people. Absolutely. Speaking of that, look, I want to give one more final shout out to our title sponsors today at StocksFC. This is a trading platform for you to buy stocks in your favorite Premier League players. They're not all available yet, but get yourself signed up. There is so much money to be made genuinely. Looking at the current prize money and rewards, as they call it, that are given out. Some of the players that have been on the platform a while now, for instance, Mo Salah has made the people that own his shares £26,000 in rewards. Rodri has made 20,000. Bruno Fernandes, 15,000. This one shocked me. Onana has made 13,000 for individuals that have invested stocks in him. They have new IPOs every single week. Go and check the website out now by scanning the QR code or clicking the link below. This is how the scores happen in match days for the Premier League players in and out of the Premier League. They get points for shots on target, goals, their team winning. They do lose points for bad elements as well. So when you're investing your stock, look at players that deliver in the green area and stay away from the red areas as much as possible. Everyone that signs up to an account tonight goes into a prize draw with my exclusive link. So it only works with my link for a signed Trent Alexander-Arnold ball from the Champions League final in 2019. What happened in the Champions League final in 2019, Hamza?
We won it, and my name's
You won
Husam.
it. So it's a ball. Sorry, Sam.
I've only been on the terrace 3 years. Have I ever called you KJ? Have I ever called you KJ 3 years?
No, it's true. It's true. I shouldn't do that. But yes, Husam, it is. And it's a ball from the 2019 Champions League final that Trent himself signed. So all you got to do is have an account and you get entered into that. Go and check it out right now. If you're someone that generally believes your football knowledge is the one, why not actually invest in some stocks in these players? Go and check it out now. Egal's here with us. What are you saying, my brother?
I think, David, you're a little bit pessimistic, my friend. Obviously, it's early in the tournament. You can't just write off your team. I know maybe it's PTSD of losing the last tournament, but just relax. You can grow into a tournament. You can start to find form, and all you need to do is click once you get to the knockout rounds, and you can still win it. This England team today, defensively, you guys were solid. A lot of dependency on that right-hand side with Bukayo Saka and Trent, and that build-up from that side to basically create all the creativity for you guys. You need to find some balance. Jude Bellingham, of course, he's absolutely amazing. He does what he does, gets that goal, and he shows the kind of levels that he is. You guys have these levels. But Harry Kane today. Harry Kane, yes, I said, you know what? I thought he was having a stinker, but now that I think about it, if he's taking more of a back seat and he's letting other players around him take more of the load, and he's not necessarily being the main guy who everything has to run through him, could that be actually better for England? Could that be something that actually makes England better? You have all these players that are quality around him. Before, everything was getting funneled through one man. Now it seems like everything's going to be split up across the pitch. I know it didn't lead to more goals in today's game, but is today's game a stinker by Harry Kane, or is this just the way you guys are going to play going forward? And could this lead to more success? Because you guys tried the thing where it was like run through everything through Harry Kane. Now you're trying more of a team game, it seems. And I think this might actually be more beneficial to you guys in the long run. As for Foden, you guys, we can banter Foden all day, and I banter him as much as I could also. But really and truly, we know he's playing more centrally, and it was on Kieran Trippier or somebody else to hold the width on that side. And he just wasn't, nothing felt, he had an opportunity to score a goal. He wasn't in the right spot. Also, he had opportunity to collect the ball in the box, and it never came off for him. So he had a bad game. Let's just call it a bad game. It is what it is. But today, Jude Bellingham, Bukayo Saka, give them their flowers. These guys played well. They did what they did. Defensively, Guehi was impressive. And Southgate, as much as you guys want to criticize him, all he has to do is get the win. It doesn't matter how you win in tournaments. We've seen teams get to the knockout rounds with one draw and one win and still win the goddamn tournament. So You don't need to win every single game in the tournament. You just need to get to the knockout rounds and beat them. I've seen teams get to every single knockout round and get to penalties and just end up winning from there. So I think it's too early to be writing your team off. England's still one of the best teams. You just need to find form. And I don't think Southgate still knows what his best midfield is, because Trent today was good, but I think he was a little bit sloppy at times, and maybe against bigger teams that can cost you. So maybe he needs to figure out how he's going to tool that around. Maybe a Conor Gallagher and Trent maybe playing right back, something like that. But yeah, that's just me.
No, I like the positivity. Listen, I do think there's stuff in there. Like the good thing about the performance today is we can get better from this. That what would maybe worry me a little bit more is being amazing today, looking like we've peaked today. And there are still areas, but I think where the worry comes in is, are we going to be good enough to is the manager going to make the right decisions to enable that to happen? I think is the question. This here says, we all know it's Southgate with no offense, but no offense. If I'm world class. F Southgate's game plan. I'm playing my game and I'm winning. That's what winners do. The issue with that approach, Nav, and I understand how people take that, but I think in normal life, the same as in sport, if you're a player that disregards what the manager says, I'm going to do what I think's right, that gets around. And you become someone that other managers don't necessarily want to work with, because if you decide one day, I don't want to do that, that is what's going to happen. It works the same in the professional world. You may disagree with what your boss is telling you to do. And in fact, you might end up being right. But when you're insubordinate, when you do what you're not being told to do, whether it comes off or not, it still doesn't make you shine in a good light. I've seen that happen in a professional environment. Oh, I didn't foul because I did something different to what my boss told me to do. You still... It doesn't look good on you, trust me. So that attitude in life, as much as I understand the logic behind it, in actuality, it doesn't help you. What change would you guys make for Denmark? I'll throw that question to David. What if you could make one change to the team for that Denmark game? What would it be?
Get Trent out of midfield.
Of course.
There we go. Navia says you should have a manager's game plan and the player's game plan. If the manager does not work out, you should always have that. If it goes wrong, you've got to work out the trouble as a team with your own game plan. Well, there is creative freedom given to players. So the managers typically, because Pep speaks of this, the system is to get the ball to the edge of the box. Then it is down to the players to work it out. So if they keep going on the outside of a fullback and he keeps winning the challenge, it is on the player to work on something different. So that element is true. But if the manager says play 4-3-3 and the players go, screw you, we're going, I don't know, 4-4-2, and they're just not getting back into the manager's shape, we can't be supporting that type of behavior, because that could lead to absolute chaos in the game if we're advocating that behavior.
Terry, Southgate used to get criticized for not being bold. Today he's bold and he's getting criticized for being bold. It's kind of flip-flopping from the people who criticize him.
What was bold?
I think playing Trent in midfield was bold.
No, he's right. No, he's right.
Come on,
no,
if he wanted
right.
to be
I think
bold,
he's 100% right. Playing Saka, Foden, Kane, Bellingham, right in that midfield, putting Trent in the midfield, that's bold. Play three in the back.
Every time he's always criticized for being boring. Back three
guys into defense.
No, bro,
Serbia is bold.
For as long
the setup was wrong, but he was bold. The setup was wrong.
For as long as we've seen him,
no, I agree with Miguel.
He's got criticized for being very defensive, playing Harry Maguire, playing guys that you don't like. Today, he went out there, played a very progressive team. Yes, they only won 1-0, but he's changing. So the same guy.
I agree with Gal. He tried. What he just didn't do, he didn't adapt when Serbia did. That for me is the biggest issue. We started well, we were aggressive, we were attacking, and we can't continue to attack after we scored. It wasn't we went 1-0 up and sat back. They then changed and we didn't adapt with it. I think Egal is, I totally get where Egal is coming from on that. Boys, look, I want to thank you all for coming on. This video is going to take you through to, is it M8? Is it yours or MHF? To Mo and Sam's channel. So go and check that out at the end. Remember to get yourself signed up to StocksFC. I'm going to do a number of shows about them in the coming days, weeks, and months. But go and have a look yourselves to begin with. Go and have a look yourselves. This is honestly, this platform is absolutely amazing, and we the users have full control as well. So go and read up about it, go and look at it. There's some real good money to be made. If your football had taste in players, you're gonna foul, aren't you? So let's see who really does want to invest in stocks in players. Listen, everybody, until next time, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.